It's exactly 1,000 days since we voted to leave the European Union, almost 3 years. And PMQs is going on right now, it's out there on the radio. But I wanted to speak about yesterday, John Bercow announced that the Prime Minister would not be able, he would not approve the Prime Minister bringing back her deal for a third time to try and push it through Parliament in a third meaningful vote, which was meant to happen today. But I think John Bercow is legendary for that. I think he has gained a whole new level of respect from me, or at least as much respect as a Tory can get from me, because everyone's upset about this. Everyone seems to be raging about this. The Daily Mail had a headline yesterday, a picture of John Bercow captioned "the smirk that says bollocks to Brexit" or whatever, or "Brexit be damned," should I say. And I don't see how he's saying Brexit be damned. I don't see how he's refusing to let Brexit happen. He's refusing to let Theresa May commit the very definition of insanity and do the same thing over and over again in the hopes of getting it through. They voted it down the first time. She brought it back, essentially the same deal. They voted it down the second time. What makes her think they're going to vote it down the third time? It's the political equivalent of a kid harassing its parents because it wants something, to go to the park, for instance. Can we go to the park? No. 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 Can we go to the park? Oh, for fuck's sake, let's go to the fucking park. That's what I think she's hoping for. Just repeatedly putting it in front of MPs, in front of the House of Commons, so eventually they just get fed up with it and just vote it through anyway. That's what I think she wants. She wants to keep rolling it out and rolling it out and rolling it out until eventually she can say, look, it's March 29th. March 28th, we leave tomorrow, you need to vote this deal through. And then they'll go, you know what, let's just vote it through to save all the hassle. She's ridiculous. This woman is not fit to lead the country. She's not fit to be Prime Minister. The Tory party called this referendum for its own selfish reasons. The referendum was held for all the wrong reasons. It was called by David Cameron so he could stop his party tearing itself apart, which has clearly, blatantly failed. And the implementation of the Brexit process has been completely selfish on the part of the Tories. Because I guarantee you, if they get whatever it is they want, if they get Brexit under their belt, if they're able to pull off a Brexit while they're during their rule, during their regime, that it will be a Brexit where workers' rights are stripped away substantially. It will be a Brexit where tax cuts for the very wealthy are through the roof. There'll be tax havens, the rich will get richer and the poor will get poorer. Because as it stands, over the last 10 years, Tory rule has been bad. But there's been a certain limitation to how much the rich can get away with, implemented by EU rules, implemented by EU regulations that say you can't do that. But with the EU out of the way, with the EU unable to impose, tax stings and things like that, they'll be able to do pretty much whatever they like with the country. So I think that the referendum was called at completely the wrong time. Both campaigns, Leave and Remain, were insufficiently ran. Leave was just based on foreigners and fear of immigrants, and Remain was just, this is how terrible leaving will be, none of this is how we can benefit from remaining in the EU, or this is the alternative to leaving the EU. So it's all been a mess. It's all been a complete catastrophe. Personally, I regret voting to leave the EU. Not entirely. I regret voting to leave the EU at that point in time. I feel I should have abstained because we just handed the control of the negotiations to the most incompetent party in Westminster to do so. We should have waited for a nice, proper socialist government to come along, and then we could maybe handle Brexit a lot better. But Theresa May's a joke. She's like Margaret Thatcher that's had a nervous breakdown. Thatcher, for all her faults, she was a horrendous lady in my opinion. She was absolutely horrific. But for all her faults, for all her ideological cruelness, she had some confidence. She was able to command the respect of the House. She was able to command the respect of MPs and her cabinet. Theresa May has got No fucking clue. She's trying to be a strong leader like Thatcher was. She's trying to be this confident woman. But it's so see-through, it is unreal. She needs to go, just resign. After Brexit, after March 29th or June or whenever the fuck, 3024, whenever the fuck Brexit is going to be, just go. Just go. It's beyond the joke now. You're incompetent. You can't lead. You keep running off to the EU. I don't know what she's doing at the EU all the time. She's going out there. She must just be sitting around a table with Juncker and Tusk and just having some coffee and then fucking off back home and pretending she's got something done. Because they've already told her, no more negotiations. We can clarify little bits. We can work out little interpretations and little clarifications. But other than that, no new deal, no more concessions from the EU, nothing. They've said this, they've said as much. You will not get another deal. We've negotiated the deal over the past 2-3 years. That's what you've got. Work with it. And everyone seems to expect Britain and the EU, everyone seems to expect the EU to bow to Britain. Everyone seems to expect the EU to cave in. The EU to be like, oh yeah, yes Britain, we'll give you everything you want. That's not how it works. Nobody goes through a divorce, for instance. Nobody goes to a divorce court and then expects their wife or their ex-wife's lawyer to work out the best deal for them. That's not how it works. You have to work out what's best for yourself. You have to do right by yourself in these sort of proceedings. Britain wants to leave the EU. That was our vote. That was our choice. Now we're the ones responsible for figuring out and implementing a plan and a deal and a working plan that's best for us. We don't expect the EU to give us everything on a plate. They don't care. They're 27 nation states. Yes, the UK is powerful economically. I'll grant you that. Yes, we're one of the biggest economies on the planet, etc., etc. We do hold a lot of weight, a lot of power on the world stage. But when it comes to 27 nation states, all combined into a bloc, we are not as powerful as them. The UK on its own is powerful when it comes to different states on the world stage, independent states. So if you pit UK against Germany, for instance, UK is likely to win. UK against France, again, UK is likely to win. UK against Spain, UK is probably going to win economically. But if you pit the UK against Spain, Germany, Italy, France, all these countries, Romania, Poland, etc., it's not going to win. It's just not feasible. You can't take on the entirety of mainland continent Europe and expect to somehow come out on top. You can't expect a massive economic bloc to be afraid of you, to be intimidated by your economic prowess on the world stage, because together they're stronger than you. These are the facts. These are the facts. So I don't see why everyone's thinking, oh, we're Great Britain, they should give us everything. That's not realistic. They don't care. We want to leave? There's the door, you can leave. And they're not going to give us a great deal, because they know that if they give us a great deal, some other countries might want to break away and get a great deal for themselves. Italy, France, for instance. We could have Frexit, Italexit, we could have Germexit. All these countries could start breaking away. If they give us a fantastic, brilliant deal that makes us better off than we were in the EU, of course other countries are going to start walking. So on their part, they've got their own selfish interests as well, because they want to make an example of us. They want to say, look, this is what happens when you leave the EU. And I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying it's correct. I'm not saying it's even moral. But it's just the way that they're going to do things. Think about it. They don't care. They're 27 nation states, as I say, economically combined. We need to pull our head out of our arses. Stop letting our patriotism blind us to the truth, blind us to the realities of this now. It's getting stupid. I'll see you in the next one.